Okay, greetings. This is Rastafari Mahat Kerushek Baka back at you again. And the last time I left, we were talking about the Moors and their ascent in Egypt. But before I get to that, I want to make a remark about the term black because the brother God Intelligence keeps saying that calling black is a new term coined by the Europeans to describe us out of our status. Okay, and I just want to correct that. Okay, and just point out that in ancient Egypt it's known as Kemet. Okay, and this is before the Europeans, by the way, before there was even any Europeans. Period. Okay, ancient Egypt was known as Kemet. Okay, and Kemet means the black land. Now the people of Kemet call themselves the Kamau. Okay, the Kamau means black people. So we've been calling ourselves black people before there was even any Europeans or any Moors in existence. So we just need to get that clear. Kemet means black, the black land, and the Kamau were the black people. So we have a history of calling ourselves black people. That goes way back before any Moors or before any Europeans or any other people for that matter. I just want to get that straight. So black is not a new concept. It's not one coined by the Europeans. It's an ancient Kemetian concept coined by the black people, the Kamau of ancient Egypt. So that needs to be straightened out. So now it is. So when we call ourselves black, we are in our status as the black people of ancient Kemet. Okay. Now back to the Moors in ancient Egypt. Well, not ancient Egypt, because the Moors got into Egypt during the New Kingdom. Which wasn't, by that time, by the New Kingdom, the Egyptian had seen his glory already. All the pyramids were built, and basically we was on Egypt was, the different invasions by the various, starting with the Moors, were starting to contribute to the decline of Egyptian civilization. Okay, because what happened was that when the Moors, or the Meshwesh and the Mu, which is what the Moors was known as by the Egyptians, the Meshwesh, the Moors, the Moab, okay, Moabite. When they finally got into Egypt around, I believe it was around 10 BC, 1110 BC, around there was the first Moorish or Meshwesh king of first Meshwesh pharaoh of Egypt. His name is I believe Arsacon or Shishak. I forget which one was first, but one of them was the first pharaoh of Egypt, either Shishak or Arsacon. Now, how he became a pharaoh? Remember that during the time of Miriam Ptah had made had inducted the Meshwesh after he defeated them. After Miriam Ptah defeated the Meshwesh, the Moors, he basically forced them into the army as mercenaries and tried to teach them Egyptian culture and language. From that, they rose in the army to become like leading generals and officers in the army, and they used that as a springboard, by intermarrying with some of the Egyptian nobility to become pharaoh. This is how the first pharaoh was a general in the Egyptian army. The first Moorish pharaoh was a general in the Egyptian army, and from that he used that to become the pharaoh. Now, this pharaoh, like I said, this is around 10 BC, and they had been in the Moors had been in the army for like a couple of generations now. As a matter of fact, there's a stela called the Miriam Ptah stela, which describes this event. So you can look it up if you want to. Miriam Ptah, Miriam Ptah stela. You look up that and you'll see, he talks about defeating the Meshwesh and how they ran from him and how he wiped them out, and then he captured some of them, brought them into Egypt, made them put them into the army as mercenaries, destroyed their language, and made them learn Egyptian culture. So from that, they became part of the Egyptian culture, and then eventually rose to Pharaoh in Egypt. That was during the 21st dynasty, 22nd and 23rd dynasty. That was the Moorish dynasty in Egypt. There were no Moors in Egypt prior to that. Okay, so when you hear people talking about Imhotep and being Moor, no, there was no such thing. Imhotep was from the 4th dynasty during the Old Kingdom, which there were no Moors in Egypt at that time, or no Meshwesh, or no Israelites, or no Moabites in Egypt at that time. Okay, they were nowhere. They couldn't get into Egypt. They didn't get into Egypt until the New Kingdom, as I explained before. So the Moors had nothing to do with the Old Kingdom or even the Middle Kingdom. But they started coming to Egypt during the New Kingdom, which is like I said, around 1500 BC. It was the beginning of the New Kingdom. So this Pharaoh, who was the Pharaoh of the Moors that rose to the throne in Egypt, was actually only in the northern part of Egypt. He didn't actually rule all of Egypt, because they still had a Pharaoh in the southern part, the Nubian or the Kushite Pharaoh. So it was like they basically occupied the delta part of Egypt. Okay, this was where they couldn't they couldn't like run down in Thebes and places like in Middle Egypt. They couldn't really they had no influence down in that part of Egypt. So you had Arsacon, Shishak, Arsacon the first, the second, and a couple of other pharaohs that lasted a couple of dynasties, like I said, from the 21st to the 23rd dynasty. Then after that, the Nubian pharaoh, from Ethiopia, Shabaka, actually started with Pi, which we know as Pianki. Pianki started the Renaissance, and then Shabaka kind of completed it. They chased the Moors out of Egypt, and Shishak, not Shishak, but Shabaka completed that and started a new Renaissance, the new Nubian dynasty in Egypt. That was the 25th dynasty. So from the 21st to the 23rd dynasty was the Moorish, and then Pianki, Shabaka, Shabataka, and Taharka came back and started a different the 25th dynasty. They were all 25th dynasty pharaohs, by the way, and they were Nubian or Ethiopian Kushite pharaohs that came from the south and marched upon the delta and removed the Moorish pharaohs from Egypt. Okay, so this is basically the history of the Moors in Egypt. So from this is where the only place where the Moors can say, well, yeah, there were pharaohs in Egypt, okay, during that period. All right. So basically, what we're looking at is that the Moors were North Africans. Their roots in North Africa. I mean, they basically are our children, our Africans that went into left the Nile Valley, went into the northern part of Africa, northwest, I should say, and I guess they basically came in contact with the Asians or the Caucasians, and there was some mixing going on there, and they are settled, in North Africa, and then they tried to basically attack civilization at that time, which was the Egyptian civilization, and